Josh with Wind River Outdoor Company. This is part 2 of our camping series. Today we're going to be talking about backpacking. Kind of built 2 setups for you guys off our shop floor this morning. We have a more traditional kind of budget backpacking setup with a lightweight setup with unlimited budget based off what we have on the floor. Certainly you could get a even more extensive, more lightweight setup than this, but this is based off of what I had on the floor available, so you could go to the shop today and purchase either one of these setups. So both these packs are exactly the same in the setup. Each has a 2-man tent, sleeping pad, and a single sleeping bag, water filter, a cook system, and a couple of accessories that'll kind of transfer between the two. The budget backpack here, kind of introductory, is going to come in at 17 pounds, whereas our lightweight setup with all the same gear is going to be just over 7. So there's a 10-pound difference there. We'll start on the budget one here and pull it out, and we'll go to the lightweight setup. First thing that you're going to need, obviously, is a backpack. Starting on the outside here, we have something for drinking water. We have an Nalgene in this setup. In our other pocket here, we have our bear spray. We are in bear country, so we want to watch out for those bears. Going into the pack here, this is a Alps Mountaineering Red Tail 65, so 65-liter pack. First, we're going to pull out our cook system. So we have a Primus light stove system and our fuel for that. Water purification, didn't want to take that guy out of the box, but you could hop down the lake here, purify yourself some water. Going on to the big items of our 2-man tent. This is Sierra Designs Clip Flashlight 2. Our sleeping pad, which is going to be in this setup a climate insulated Static V Lux pad. For the last of the main compartment here, backpacking chair. This is going to be the Nemo Moonlight chair. Cool thing about this pack is it has a separate compartment here at the bottom for your sleeping bag. For our bag in the setup, we have a 20-degree Nemo men's Tempo bag. That's a synthetic bag, so we'll see the difference in our other bag here in a second, which is a down bag. I'm gonna set this bag aside here for a second, and we'll talk about the contents of our other bag. For our lightweight setup, we have the Zerk 40-liter from Mountain Smith. It's a great lightweight bag. I guess let's start on the outside here. So we have our water container, just a cheap smart water bottle. A lot of people like using these because they're super durable and will only cost you a couple bucks versus an Nalgene, which is a little more of an investment. The downside is that if you want to do hot coffee in the morning, you need something else because you can't pour boiling water into here like you can an Nalgene. On the other side here, we have our fuel for our stove. We have an alcohol stove in this setup and tent stakes for our tent. So first on the ultralight setup is going to be our sleeping pad here out of the bag. It's a Nemo Tensor, the insulated, regular width. Our camp chair is going to be a Sea to Summit inflatable sit pad. For our tent, we have the Nemo Hornet 2-person tent. Our cook system here, we have a GSI Minimalist with the Vargo alcohol fuel stove, which is super light. If you want to see more about stoves, you can go check out our other stove video. That comes with a awesome neoprene sleeve, so you can drink your coffee straight out of the pot. It has a drink spout on it. For our sleeping bag, which is also a 20-degree bag, just like the Nemo bag, we have the Sierra Designs Cloud 20. This is a 800 fill down bag, so it compresses a lot more. You can even get it a little smaller. I don't have a compression sack for it. This is just the standard stuff sack that comes with it. But if you get a compression sack, you can really get that down small in your pack. So far that's the same build on both. You can see how much more space this takes up versus that, which is all compact and small. Obviously this is going to cost a little more, but you can get yourself started here and have an awesome setup. Do have a couple more things which are going to go across the board. Have a sack for our food, snacks, smelly things, anything like that. Sunscreen, bug spray, and any types of food. We want to keep all that in a sack so we can do a bear hang, which we're just going to do with I just use a 550 paracord, which we have plenty of in the shop. I'm just using just a simple nylon sack from Sea to Summit. So for our water purification system for our ultralight setup, we talked about the traditional using a water filter. We have aqua tabs, which is going to be water purification tabs. It's not as quick as a filter. You have to wait 30 minutes after you put them in, but it takes up hardly any space. You can even see, even in the container here, it takes up hardly any space. You can use a filter either or. There's multiple filters that we have in the shop that are smaller or bigger. Aqua tabs, or we also have Aquamira. So there's multiple ways that you can do that, but you do need something to purify your water. Once you finish your smart water bottle, you're gonna need a way to fill it up with something that's drinkable. Don't just drink the water out of the stream. You don't wanna end up sick. Like we talked about in the last video, always bring an extra layer. This is kind of just my go-to, a down puffy. Packs away really nicely and it keeps me pretty warm for what it is. If it gets too cold, I just crawl in the sleeping bag. Next we have our trowel. You're gonna need something for when you have to go to the restroom. This is the Deuce by Tent Labs. This only weighs just over ½ ounce. And this is a great option for either. It's super durable. I believe it has a lifetime warranty on it, so if you break it, they'll replace it for you. You might just have to pay like a processing fee or something. But I've had one of these for several years and I haven't broken it yet, and we have some pretty rocky ground here in Wyoming. You can just look around and see all the rocks. So I've definitely dug through some tough ground with it and it works really well. You can definitely go cheaper and use like a plastic, a cat hole trowel from GSI, which is a great option, but I would definitely recommend this one for either build. Lastly, for stuff I have on the table here in the bags, first aid kit. Definitely take some type of first aid kit with you. This one has a watertight container, so everything inside is going to stay nice and dry. I recommend taking a class so that you can actually learn to use what's in your kit, because it's not really going to do you any good if you don't know what to do with it. Just a basic first aid class will do. If you want to take a step up, a wilderness first aid class is really nice. A couple things we don't have here on the table. You're going to want some sort of light source when you're out there. I basically just use that same O-light that we talked about in the last video. Most of the time I'm wearing a hat, so if I really need a headlamp, I can just clip it to the bill of my hat and I'm good to go. I always do carry a backup headlamp though, just in case. You might want to bring a phone charger if you're going to be using your phone for taking pictures, that kind of thing. Check the weather before you go out. We mentioned that in the last video. It's even more important when you're going backpacking than car camping. Once you're, a couple miles away from your car, you're really going to want to know what you're getting yourself into. So one thing that you can take, if you might have some inclement weather, bring rain pants, rain jacket, keep yourself dry. We have a nice, beautiful day here today. We're not expecting any rain, so I didn't bring it in the system. You can choose to take it just in case, which I do a lot of times, especially here in the mountains. Sometimes we'll have a random rainstorm come through that wasn't predicted, but if you know you're going to a place where there's basically no chance of rain, then you don't have to take it. It's just extra weight. Another thing is food. We kind of talked about our food bag. There's multiple different options for what you can do food. Do trail bars, and honestly, you could do that for your entire meal, but you're gonna be carrying a lot of them. So we have some great backpacking food options like Mountain House, Backpacker's Pantry. We have Good to Go in the shop. There's plenty of options. Come in and see, kind of what meals you like, what you don't. Those dehydrated meals go a long way. Super lightweight. Just grab some water at your campsite, cook it up on your stove, and takes about 10 to 15 minutes to rehydrate. You have yourself a nice hot meal. So another thing, you might want some hot coffee. We just have some instant packs here. We have some Black Rifle instant coffee at the shop, or you can just pick up something from your local grocery store. It doesn't have to be specific. Another thing I like to take is a buff. These guys go a long way. Neck protection, keep you a little warmer, keeps the sun off your neck, off your face, and gives you a little extra warmth at night. One last thing I'll talk about is some type of communication for the backcountry. I have the Garmin InReach Mini is what I use. Basically, if you're going out by yourself, this is an essential piece of gear. Don't go out by yourself unless you have some way to communicate, especially here in bear country. And I really wouldn't recommend going out by yourself anyways in bear country. You can, but it's a lot better to have that safety net of somebody else with you, because in the event that you do have some type of animal encounter and you do get hurt, it's going to be way better if you have somebody that can help you out. On top of that, the likelihood of having an animal encounter, whether it be mountain lion, bear, drops significantly when you're in a group versus alone, especially with mountain lions. Mountain lions basically don't bother anyone in a group, but if you're out hiking alone, that's when those animals try to hunt you, actually, mountain lions. Bears typically don't hunt humans. Bear encounters are a defense encounter where you surprise the bear. So that's another reason why having a second person there is great, is usually in those encounters, you're not gonna see the bear far away. Usually if you're seeing the bear far away, it's already noticed you and it's leaving the area. It's where you surprise the bear that you're gonna have issues. And that's why we carry bear spray. And then secondly, the inReach, which does have the SOS function. So if you get yourself into some big trouble, you can hit that SOS button. It goes to global network, and they'll connect you with local dispatcher who can send out search and rescue or whatever you need. And they can message you back and forth via your cell phone to figure out exactly what your situation is so they can send adequate help. I definitely recommend some sort of satellite messenger. We have inReach and the Zoleo messenger in the shop. I have multiple different versions of the inReach. I choose the Mini for a lightweight setup. We have the Explorer and the 66i if you're using your GPS for navigation as well. Most of the time I just use navigation, either paper maps, or your phone is a great tool for nav as well. The GPS on your phone works regardless of whether or not you have cell service. So as long as you have maps preloaded on your phone, you can find out where you're at, and it's not quite as good as a dedicated GPS unit, but it'll get you close enough to know where you are. Another tool you might want to take with you is just a pocket knife or a multi-tool. Those things can come in really handy depending on what you're doing on all kinds of different things. If you have to cut some cord for your bear hang, maybe shaving off some wood to start your fire. Speaking of fire, another thing that you might want to take is a lighter, matches, something to start a fire with. It's great to rub two sticks together, but most people don't know how to do that, and it takes a lot of time and energy and effort. It's way easier if you can just take a lighter with you. For your stove setup, on the Primus light here, it has a piezo igniter, so you don't need a lighter, but it's always great to have a backup just in case. One more thing I'm going to talk about before hitting the trail is just clothing selection. You want to have a good pair of shoes, trail runners or tennis shoes will do fine. Obviously something that's made for the trail is going to have better traction on the trail. We're doing a lightweight setup here, so I just have low top hikers on, not any traditional hiking boots, but if you're carrying more weight, you might want some ankle support like with the traditional system, so a full boot may be a good choice for you. Usually I'm carrying lighter weight, so I just go with the trail runners. Also a great pair of socks to keep you from getting blisters. And if you do start to develop hot spots when you're hiking, take your shoes off, put some tape on your feet, some moleskin, whatever. You want to stop those blisters before they happen. Once you get a blister, it's going to be a problem the rest of the trip. So if you start to feel like you're having any type of rubbing in your feet, just pull over, take a minute, and fix it then. You'll have a lot better time if you fix it ahead of time instead of waiting until you have a major issue. Especially once you're 2 or 3 miles back in the backcountry, you're not going to want to deal with that. Another thing is I typically just like to hike in a sun shirt. Outdoor Research Astroman is kind of my go-to. It's a great long sleeve shirt. I like to usually wear long sleeves, keep the sun off my arms, that way I can use less sunscreen, just keep the sunscreen on my neck and face, maybe on the back of my hands. Obviously today I have a short sleeve shirt on. This would definitely be something that I would wear on the trail. Typically we're gonna wear some type of hiking pants. These are 511 pants. They're more of a tactical pant, but they're definitely made for hiking. A lot of times I wear Mountain Hardwear, the Ferocity pant, just a soft shell pant. That's an awesome pant, and we have some other great options in the shop as well. Something not too heavy, breathable, but something that sheds water really easy as well and doesn't absorb that water. One other thing you might want to consider is a hat, just to keep that sun out of your face, as well as sunglasses. I usually take sunglasses into the backcountry, even though I wear glasses. Stack the glasses in the pack, take sunglasses for the day, pull my glasses out at night. Keeping the sun off your face with even a wide brim hat or just a standard baseball cap will go a long way and keep you from getting burned. Day 2 is not going to be fun when you have to walk out with a severe sunburn, so make sure you're taking care of yourself. It's not as easy to bail out when you're backpacking as car camping. You definitely have to think about it a lot more. As far as bear spray, make sure it's accessible. Usually keep the inReach on the backpack. Typically don't stuff it in the bag because the antenna on it can get disrupted by the fabric in the bag. If I need to use the inReach, I can use it through my phone, or actually even the Garmin watch here will connect to the inReach and I can send a SOS just from the watch. Same thing on the phone. You can use the Garmin app to send a SOS. So we're gonna head out on the trail here and have a little bit of fun hiking. Thanks for stopping in and checking out the video. We'll see you again soon.